Bacon eats bacon, and Papaco loves Blanca. In this week's episode of Pop Team Epic, Papaco and PP take on a classic Yakuza story straight out of a 1970s movie. This was another weird episode that felt like it was referencing something from Japanese culture that I have no idea what it's actually referencing. That being said, there were a few small scenes in this episode that I absolutely loved. First and foremost, can anybody tell me if that one Bob Epic Team segment where Papaco is doing that weird dance, is she doing an impression of Blanca? She's doing the exact moves that he does. Like the weird up swipe move, the low kick, and she keeps repeating them over and over and over. I don't know if this is what she's actually referencing, as the entire joke itself is, as you would expect, incredibly freaking surreal as she dances her way across the world all the way up to the freaking Statue of Liberty for no reason whatsoever, but if that's what this is, that's awesome. I play a lot of Street Fighter, and I've seen a lot of Blanca in action. One of my best friends plays as Blanca all the time, so I'm used to seeing these moves. I know that's what they are referencing, but the rest of the episode is exactly what you would expect. It is just insane. And they're continuing the formula from the last couple of episodes where they have a longer story in the beginning, followed by a bunch of ridiculous segments such as Bob Epic Teams, video game references, and even a really great ending where you get to hear the singers actually contemplating about the fact that they should be in the anime series. Why aren't they getting any representation? The fact is, it's just really funny here. But it's that opening segment which is really the meat of this episode and what I'm mostly going to talk about in this review. As like I said, it seems to be sort of like a weird parody of 1970s Yakuza Japanese movies, where it's about Papaco and PP busting out of jail and joining the mob and even going up against these mobsters who are for some reason, and like I said, this is probably a cultural thing, they're like half man, half bamboo. You heard me. They're like humans with bamboo stalks for heads. They still talk and act like normal humans, and I'm not really sure what the entire point or meaning or metaphor behind any of this is, but it's really funny. Especially because they get really pissed over the fact that they deal in doing YouTube stuff. So anyone who's involved with that, they clearly know it's why it's kind of ridiculous. Really, like most of the other segments, it's really incomprehensible, and it basically turns into a story about them killing all the big mob bosses of this underground Yakuza Zaibatsu. And it's really funny how it all actually plays out. There's a scene where seemingly Papaco is killed, they hold a funeral for her, PP comes in, and then they just end up loading the place up with dynamite, destroying everything, and freaking driving away like Thelma and Louise. It's weird. Did I mention that this series is kind of hard to follow for how quick the jokes actually fly at you on screen? It's insane, and it was in this episode right here. The opening scene of the episode was one of the funniest things that I've ever seen, and definitely felt like something that I've seen on like Adult Swim. Something like Aqua Teen Hunger Force or Tim and Eric. There's a cartoon piece of bacon, which is cooking bacon, and then eats the bacon. Can anybody tell me what this means? Like, really, what is the deal with this? The imagery is funny. I just don't quite know what it is that they are fully going for in that sequence. I don't know. There's a whole nother part of the episode where they complain about the fact that their bangs were cut too short, and then all of a sudden John McClane from Die Hard shows up, and then a couple other guys who look exactly like him. One of them has hair. This show is impossible to review, but I still love talking about it because I just love giving my super surreal experiences of watching it, and I mostly want to hear from you guys. So what's the rundown on this episode of Pop Team Epic? Like I said, reviewing a comedy like this is really difficult. It's really just sort of taking it for what it is and talking about my favorite segments. Like I said, I think I understood the Blanca reference, at least that's what I believe they were going for, and the fact that it was done in a Bob Epic Team segment made me appreciate it a lot because those segments are really funny. They're really stupid, but they're always really funny. I also really loved the way the ending of the episode went because I love how this series takes a lot of really experimental choices with how they use their animation. You see a lot of different styles, everything from just hand-drawn, computer, to claymation, to those weird like stop-motion ones they did in the few previous episodes. In the last episode, they did the flip books, and in this one, they're doing sand art. which I really loved. It's kind of like when you see like Buddhist monks writing out a mandala. They use sand to actually create something, and they use that as an aesthetic for the animation. And it was a story of something cultural in Japan about making cherry blossoms arise and grow, and I don't know. Again, this is one of those cultural things that's just going to fly over my head, but Japanese viewers might have a firmer appreciation for it. But I did have an appreciation for the art style, which is something that I really did like quite a bit. So basically just another super goofy episode of the series, which definitely had a lot of big memorable moments. I still don't think it's as good as episode 2. I'm going to keep saying that in every single review. I think episode 2 is still the best episode of the series in terms of the segments and the quality and just how many things were just flying at you, the musical parts, just everything just really worked in that one. But this one right here was really solid and had a lot of really funny moments. Bacon eating bacon, I mean, just there it is. I'm giving this one a 4 out of 5. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. Please tell me in the comment section below and what you hope to see from the rest of Pop Team Epic. So thank you guys for watching this review. I will see you guys next time, and as always, stay Dandel, baby.